President Zelensky came to California last year in September to ask for more support in the face of Russian aggression. And in a one-on-one interview, the National Guard's top general sat down with me to talk about that conversation they had and the role California service members are playing in streamlining aid to Ukraine right now. As the general shows us, this help is vital as Ukraine fights to keep democracy alive for themselves and for the entire world.
The Ukrainian are very, very proud people. They're very tough. They're good fighters. They're very patriotic and loyal to their country, and they are going to fight to the bitter end.
California National Guard Major General David S. Baldwin knows firsthand the fighting spirit of the Ukrainian people and their military.
When this invasion began about 2 weeks ago, with your such close ties with the Ukrainian people, I mean, you've got personal friends over there. What was the first feeling that you had?
Well, the first feeling, of course, was alarm. I couldn't believe that Putin had actually done it. And then, of course, profound sadness because all of this time that we had spent working with the Ukrainians to prepare for them, the moment had come.
Ukraine has been partnered with the California National Guard under the State Partnership Program for 30 years.
Almost everything that we have over there is somehow
Ukrainian artwork, gifts, and countless symbols representing the progress of that relationship over the decades adorns the General's office at the California Military Department in Sacramento. In Ukraine, California service members have been training side by side with their military to help the formerly Soviet-controlled state become an independent democracy with a lethal military capable of defending itself against Russia.
How are you seeing that play out right now?
They are at the forefront of fighting for democracy. The rest of the world is rallying in support like no one expected to see, but we're extraordinarily proud of the fact that our Ukrainian partners are doing this on behalf of the rest of the world.
The California National Guard cannot have boots on the ground in Ukraine during this invasion. It's a reality that pains the general every day.
Every one of us wants to go and wants to help our partners.
But he did activate the full capability of the California National Guard the moment Russia invaded.
What is the California National Guard doing behind the scenes right here in the Sacramento region to support our Ukrainian brothers and sisters?
To be able to facilitate requirements and requests that are coming from the Ukrainians to other parts of the U.S. government in order to break down bureaucracy and streamline requests to get help to the Ukrainians as soon as possible.
The foreshadowing for this conflict came to light in California in September 2021. That's when Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with Major General Baldwin in Northern California to ask for more help in the event of an invasion.
What's your message to Ukrainians and to all of your friends over there?
We are so proud of them, and the fight that they're putting up is going to go down in the annals of history of one of the most impressive stand of people against illegal aggression.
Tactics that violate the laws of land warfare and are considered abhorrent by General Baldwin.
They're deliberately targeting civilians in a terror campaign, knowing that they can't, through a normal conventional tactics, beat the Ukrainian armed forces. What they're doing is they're trying to encircle the cities and then rain fire down on the trapped civilians in order to force them to surrender or to force the Ukrainians to the bargaining table.
What's your message to President Putin?
This is an illegal invasion. He needs to withdraw his forces. He is not achieving his objectives, and it's time for him to quit and go home.
Tough words from the general. California National Guard is also working with Cal OES and the governor's office right now to get protective equipment like bulletproof vests to the Ukrainian fighters. Many of those fighters are in their teenage years, young teenage boys that are staying behind, forced to stay behind in many cases to fight. The general also had some interesting things to say about the motivations behind Putin, not just economic and financial reasons for Putin to do this, but also an emotional reason to basically to bring credit to the motherland as he sees it. Basically just a ploy to get power back to Russia.
That's interesting. Yeah. Incredible story. I'm so glad you were able to get that and bring that perspective. We need to cover this in a lot of different ways.
The general was great to open himself up that way.
Yeah. All right, still ahead this morning.